Police out of the office of the governor.
Right. So the governor's office is announcing the downgrade in travel risks to level 2 from the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention. This is a quote from the governor. We welcome the latest designation from the CDC, recognizing the efforts by our people to change the course of our battle with this global pandemic. This downgrade communicates to the nation and the rest of the world that we are taking charge and taking control of the virus. More importantly, it paves the way for reopening Guam and re energizing not just tourism, but our economy. The lieutenant governor went on to say that as of today, over 32,000 of our people are fully vaccinated. This means we are that much closer to our path to half and ultimately our goal of achieving herd immunity, liberating our island from this deadly virus, and rebuilding a stronger, healthier Guam. You want me to go on?
Well, kudos to the governor because as Dr. Mike Cruz had stated on our last gathering here at GVB, that lowering the grade from 4 to 3 was a long process, and it's still a long process for CDC to do. And with the bird dogging of our governor and lieutenant governor, we got it down in record time to number 2, and that's great news for us here. And we don't have to worry now too much about non-essential travel to Guam, and hopefully that this thing continues. That you can see, you can feel it in there. It's palpable about how we are really turning we made that turn, and now we're heading towards really almost a sure opening in May 1st, and also a sure meeting of the goal. Right now, 45% of our people have gotten one vaccination, and out of that one vaccination, 26% have the second vaccination. So we're looking close to it, and hopefully with the 53,000 more vaccines coming in, that we would surpass that goal. We just need more people to give shots, and Jerry and I are right now in service training. Hopefully that we can help.
What about you guys had the vaccination clinics? I want to say, was it at the Hyatt last week? I'm not sure where else, or if they're continuing
Yeah.
this week. What was, I guess, the response? Uh,
Well, it was good. It was great. People made appointments. Some came, but 600 people got vaccinated. But the resources of those people that are vaccinating came from 2 clinics primarily, GRMC and American Medical Clinic. And so, it's we got it faster in one setting. Normally, they would have to go to the 2 places to get it done, but we just speeded it up, and we almost didn't get the vaccines to go out to that one place. But yes, it was faster than just spreading out the people to 2 clinics.
Right. You know, one thing, Jerry, it was about a month ago when you were on and you were talking about this risk proportionate policy or plan with public health. Did you guys ever sort that out?
Actually, we're probably getting closer to that because at the end of the day, we just need to understand what exactly are the requirements. Because as of today, it's still a 2-week quarantine on arrival, regardless of whether you're vaccinated or regardless of whether you have negative PCR tests. So I'm hopeful that with this improvement in our COVID situation by CDC, that there will be some relaxation of that and be, and define the risk proportionate policy. And that I don't know, it could entail maybe no quarantine if you're vaccinated. It could entail maybe if you have a PCR test, maybe no need to go into quarantine. I don't know. Public health is best able to answer that question, Sabrina.
Right. Yeah. So, the Path to Half program, that's what the governor is looking to implement, right? If we achieve 50% of full vaccinations by May 1, then the only requirement, as I understand, is that you would have to have that negative PCR test 72 hours prior to arrival, and then you would not have to do any quarantine whatsoever, but you would have to download the COVID
That's right.
alert app and the Sarah
That,
app.
so fundamentally, that's the direction that is being taken at the moment. We just need to refine exactly what the procedures are. And I believe there's a meeting being scheduled that include public health, the airport, GVB, and a couple other agencies to to refine the conditions. And I'm hopeful that they would arrive at some quote unquote risk proportionate policy that makes sense.
Are you guys gonna push for, because the CDC over the weekend they issued their newest guideline regarding fully vaccinated individuals not having to have the PCR negative test and being able to just bypass quarantine. But the governor yesterday during the proclamation signing, she was mentioning that, well, yes, they issued their guideline, but they also in the same guidelines said that it's really going to still be up to, the local government leaders to decide. Is this something though that you guys at the Visitors Bureau are going to push for? That if you're fully
Well,
vaccinated, you wouldn't need that negative PCR test?
yes, we have also we've been pushing for that, but the situation is this, that in some our source countries, for example, are looking at us as part of the continental United States. We're all USA, and so I don't know if you recall, but when the governor appointed GVB and the airport and public health as part of the recovery task force, the staff and management here at GVB has hired glimpses now that and a quick RFQ, and we are now putting together this communications strategy so that the source countries can look at Guam outside of that one bundle of the United States of America, that we are really out here surrounded in Asia. And so that marketing will let them realize that, don't when we talk about Guam, don't think that you just look at the United States numbers. Look at the Guam numbers. And so we're working on that. And as far as the vaccination passport's concerned, I think that still is coming from the U.S. government for it to be really, really valid. So as long as we're under that, I don't think there's anything that we can do until they allowed us to sort of break away from being lumped in with the continental United States.
Yeah, this delinking issue, Sabrina, is very important to us because even though politically we are associated with the U.S. and diplomatically most ministries in Japan and Korea, for example, recognize Guam within the U.S. context. The thing is that we are economically tethered. We're economically tethered to the market nexus of Asia. And that's the message that we need to get across. That's number one. And if you recall, the visa waiver program actually years ago delinked Guam from the U.S. for purposes of visa waiver, which was the reason why our tourism industry was started and grew. So we're trying to reinforce that mentality that even though we're politically part of the U.S., our market nexus actually is tethered to Asia, and look at us more in a domestic context where you can, visit the islands, the same way that you would visit longer destinations within country. So that's part of the message that we need to get across. The other part that is really the dilemma that we have at the moment is even though we've made good improvements in containing the virus on Guam, our source markets are having a devil of a time doing that. And so the dilemma is we would encourage them to come to Guam because we're safe, but at the same time, we don't want to get reinfected by destinations. So that gave rise to the idea of a quarantine corridor or a quarantine bubble arrangement where under strict guidelines from either Korea or Taiwan, for example, we can establish this corridors where people can travel in a horizontal, in a bubble, so to speak, as probably one option in giving us green shoots of recovery. So that's the real dilemma, is that even though we're improving our situation here, we need to be concerned that we don't get reinfected by less than pure COVID destinations. Guam has done a great job, as Carl had indicated. Um, and so um, we have a high percentage of vaccinated people, but believe it or not, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan have less than 1% of their population vaccinated as of last week. So that's why we're a bit concerned, and that's the dilemma that we face.
Gov, you mentioned that you had some meeting or a meeting yesterday, I believe. Is there anything that you can share with us about that meeting?
No.
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 You're talking about with the glimpses?
Oh, okay. So it was with Glimpse. I thought it was like with the
No,
governor or the task force
no,
or.
no.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
What we're doing is we're communicating. I communicated this morning with the lieutenant governor in charge of the island-wide beautification task force, and he has set the date for cleanup on the 24th of April, 2 days after Earth Day. But it's really part of Earth Day at the end of Earth Day, and right now we're going to start mobilizing that. I know that. Actually departments and another branch of government has reached out to us. They're so excited, like the judiciary of Guam, the Chief Justice Carbolito has been reaching out to see if they can get the same spot and add more to what they can do for Guam. Rocky Alcantara of DPR is really moving around to make sure that our island is ready, and so we're going to use this downtime to be able to spruce up the island, get some other stuff like Vince Ariola is doing and knocking down these derelict buildings. The five that there's still two that are lawyered up, but he's really working hard to get them to some kind of resolution.
Right. What else is on your GVB's checklist as we move full steam ahead towards reopening of travel on May 1?
Yeah, early on, the governors, as you know, the governor appointed GVB to lead the way in this reopening of May 1st. And early on in the task force discussion, it was felt that a good communications message needs to go out not only to our local population, but to our source markets. And that's the role that Glimpses now, who has been retained by GVB, would play. And their role basically is to communicate to the local community about what we're doing to make our destination safe, what they need to do to prepare the island for the time when visitors start, coming to Guam, and more importantly, communicating to the island the need to be vaccinated as much as possible, so that we can assure the markets of our safe destination. The second part of the messaging is, of course, to encourage the village mayors, to encourage our own residents to clean up and spiffy up and make sure that we're ready to receive our customers. And the third piece of this is creating the right kind of messages to the right audiences locally about the reopening strategy. And at the same time, in our source markets, communicate to our source markets what's happening in Guam that will make them feel safe, and not just telling them that we're safe, but getting into the weeds as to all the different initiatives we're doing to ensure safety. And so as part of the assignment, we've met with Glimpses already yesterday, and they're going to come and propose to the board on Thursday a plan of action, 30, 60, 90 days, because their primary responsibility is focused on the reopening strategy.
One thing that the people of Guam, they're listening, need to know that the governor of Guam is not going to treat the visitors, the tourists, any different than the local population. So everything's going to be one protocol for all.
Right. That was pretty straightforward, right? In the Path to Have plan that she unveiled last month, I think. There was one thing I wanted to follow up, and I know, Governor, you had kind of said, nah, that's not going to happen. But I'm wondering if you had any follow up discussions with the airport on their intention to allow for COVID testing for travelers that are on their way back home. Is
Well,
that
I maybe I, shouldn't be speaking for the airport, but I understand that they're still very bullish about doing that, and I think that they have not stopped exploring the possibility to have that happen there. So hopefully that something is put in place that would augment whatever other protocols we have that might and some safe procedure that the tourists from that other country or our own people will be happy to participate in. And certainly testing at the airport could be one of them.
okay? All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. Was there any other updates that you wanted to share? Any other message to the community as we head towards May 1st and hopefully achieve this path to half?
Well, just everybody, please, if you're still considering vaccination, please get vaccinated. We're almost there, and 45% have already gotten at least one dose, and hopefully the 50% will be reached, so that we can plan to even hopefully open a day or two before May 1st.
Early. Reverse Tomorrow Standard Time. Is there anything else, Gov, that you're not telling us that we didn't ask you about?
No, everything's fine, and we're really happy that you invite us on to, because it's very important that we share what GVB actually is doing. We've got some people here like Nadine Leon Guerrero that's been here almost 30 years. She's the global marketing rep, and she knows everything. So others come and go, but she's been here, and the other staff's been here. So we have a good working management team here at GVB.
Before we let you go, because we had Vanessa Williams, not the singer, the Cannabis Control Board chair on yesterday, and basically they've given the rules and the regs over to the governor, and I think then they're going to go to the legislature. But she basically said there are no restrictions on cannabis in Tumon. And I know this had kind of been a real, smoky issue for the tourism sector. What are your thoughts on that, Gov? And I mean, are you guys? Do you think that you might push anything after the fact to maybe amend the rules and regs? Because it kind of seems like it's late in the process. But
well, first of all, I think it's going to be a while for that thing to ramp up. In the meantime, we're trying to deal with this COVID situation, and we're going to put our we don't want an extraneous kind of negativity that the source countries believe it is, if you have it right in the center of our tourism. So we're still looking at it, and hopefully we can have further discussions with the governor and also the legislature.
okay,
All right.
playing it safe. Safe answer, Gov.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Take
Jerry.
care.
Bye.
Okay, bye. See you, Gov.
Bye.
Bye, bye. Yeah, he's gone. He's been trying to reopen the island since July of last year, guys. Remember? And he got his hand spanked. Remember, he did a video.
Hey, but he also said he's gonna, he's gonna get it done. So.
Oh yeah. No, he's a doer, definitely. Remember, he had a video that came out. Man, you guys
I remember
that?
the video before that one too.
Yeah. So there was. It's just funny.
Well, you're talking about the one on Instagram that said like Guam's ready to go, everything it's
Yeah,
like all
yeah,
safe
yeah,
here,
yeah.
and then they got pulled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
It was Lou and Josh, and I think they were like, "Oh yeah, we don't got COVID. Come on over, we're good. Yeah, huh? Thoughts of COVID, Queenie? Look, yeah, let's go." But then the rest, as they say, is history.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to. They said Glimpses was going to be producing that plan, the 30, 60, 90-day plan, and with Glimpses, they actually have a lot of experience with GVB. They've done a whole lot for the Guam Visitors Bureau with all the different marketing plans. We've been working with them for years.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to see what their plans are going to be in working with the Guam Visitors Bureau.
Well, remember
to get this
way
going.